Hello, everyone, and welcome back, Arsenal Fan TV America. Welcome back to you, all the soccer, all the football fans around the U.S. and around the world, of course. Just earlier today, beautiful Sunday, we played Liverpool. And of course, it was a bit, tough to see them being crowned, champions. I know it was very tough on Odegaard, if you noticed. It was very tough on all Arsenal fans. They were very hostile also, the Liverpool fans, because, of course, we were their competition. I really did feel for the players, so I wasn't really expecting, a whole lot from them. Because, again, when you're down like that, it's difficult. It's a very difficult task. You go meet, the champions. Not only that, you're still fighting to secure your runner-up second place, again, 3 years in a row. And, it's at their own home. Of course, it was very hostile. Very hostile. It's, again, I don't really envy them. It was a tough place to go to. Started the game, so I'm going to go right away to who started so we can talk about that. Of course, David Raya, which I really think I'm going to talk about each and every player and how they did this year. And, of course, that's my personal opinion. I think Raya did great. He's a very good goalkeeper. He actually, before Arsenal, I didn't really know a whole lot about him. But he came to Arsenal and he lived up to, a big club or one of the biggest clubs in the world. And, of course, one of the top four in England. So hats off to him. Raya was a great addition and a great goalkeeper for Arsenal this last season. I mean, he made some saves that you would think were impossible to make. So, of course, we played as we always, on paper, 1-4-3-3. So the four in the back this time, we started by Luis Skelly, the young 18 years old, which, again, showed us this year that this is his spot and he is the best at it. He actually, in my mind, right now, just being as young and as new, one of the best left backs in the world because the kid understands the game very well. He's very versatile and he also can play in the midfield, with Mikel Arteta's sort of game plan when going forward. He likes the left back to tuck in and play right in the center mid. The kid does great, holds the ball very well. He puts his body in front of anybody running between that person and the ball, which I really like about him. And he always will get the ball because he's too strong, or he'll get a foul. Next to him, Jacob Kiwior. Kiwior is a young defender. He, this past season, had some mistakes. A lot of center backs have mistakes. The best of them have mistakes. But I think he grew in that position, and I think he did well in big matches. When you don't expect him to do well in big matches in front of big opponents, he actually does really well. So hats off to the young man. It was a good season, let's say. Good season for him. Not too bad. Not the greatest, but it was an okay or a good season for him. Next to him, of course, William Saliba, which I consider, or in my eyes, and a lot of footballers. I mean, you can hear Rio, Ferdinand. He was, of course, an ex-Man United defender, real good one. And all the good center backs in the world will tell you that William Saliba right now is the best in the world. So, we're happy to have someone like William Saliba. I was really, really happy also to see him committing to Arsenal after, of course, Real Madrid went and chased him. And, you can't blame them. They just got Trent Alexander-Arnold for the right back position, which, they're suffering. We saw him today earlier in front of Barcelona 4-3. Their defense was all over the place. They really do need a right back. And they need center backs also. Not center midfielders. They have plenty of those. Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Valverde. Even, 40-year-old Modric was doing okay for them last season. But let's leave Real Madrid. And hopefully they don't take our Saliba from us. And let's go back to Arsenal. So William Saliba, the number one in my eyes. He's the most consistent person. Most consistent player on that team on Arsenal this year. Was the most consistent. Last year was the same thing. You always know what you can get or what you get out of William Saliba. Strong lad, very, very good on the ball. Technically savvy, tactically savvy. He understands the game inside out. And again, I respect him a whole lot. And I think, to me, I would give him player of the season, definitely for Arsenal. Of course, let's not forget, I know he didn't start today, but Gabriel Magalhaes, which is his partner, again, I rate him highly. He did really, really well. All the games he played, we missed him, because now we miss the goal. We missed the goals he scored. He scored plenty of headers, and he was very, very good with our set pieces. And if you notice, since his injury, our set pieces were not as productive as they were before he got injured. So that's just mentioning him. He didn't start today. Back four, again, was Lewis Kelly, Jacob Kivor, William Saliba, and then, of course, they're returning Ben White. Ben White is one of the warriors. I call him a warrior because he really is a warrior. He played injured for months till he had to go and really do that operation so he can get better. So he was away for a while, came back. I liked what I saw from him today. I liked, Benny White, and I liked how he was advanced. I liked how he always gives Bukayo Saka an option, always takes a defender, and always overlaps. So Saka now has the opportunity to tuck in, or he can put that ball for Ben White that's always there. So, not bad from Ben White this season based on just the time or the game he played. And of course, we can't forget Jurrien Timber. Jurrien Timber was fantastic for the Gunners this past year. I think also he is one of the best. I would put him right there, top 5 right backs in the world. He was absent also today due to injury. So Benny White starts, and that was your back four. Lewis Kelly, Jacob Kivor, William Saliba, and Ben White. In front of them was Thomas Partey, and Mikel Merino and Odegaard was that, the triangle in the midfield. So Partey, Merino, and Odegaard were your midfielders today. Let's go to Thomas Partey. Based on the games he played, I will not say that he did bad at all. He was a difference maker in many, many games. And certain games he didn't play affected Arsenal tremendously. So his absence really affects us. Really, really. And I know, we're looking at Zubimendi or whatever. I don't know him, by the way, the Real Sociedad player that we're getting. I mean, I saw him playing a couple times. He's not that impressive to me. He's not like a Thomas Partey. But Partey, when he plays, you can trust the midfield, and you can trust that your midfield is secured, and you can trust that no one will outplay him. So I respect him a whole lot, and I think to me he is our best midfielder, Thomas Partey. Moving on to Mikel Merino, average player. He's not, bad, but he's not the greatest. He did okay when he played up front. I mean, he had to. But anybody that's getting the service from Saka, Martinelli, or Trossard will do okay also. So he wasn't really something, that I could shine a light on and say he did exceptional. He just did okay. And to me, with all due respect to Merino, I mean, he's still finding, his feet with Arsenal. Today he had a red card, unfortunately. 2 really hideous fouls, not necessarily that you had to make those fouls. But he did, and he got a red card, unfortunately, so he can't start the next game against Newcastle, which is very, very important. He today took the place of Declan Rice that had a muscle strain. So hopefully we are going to have, Sunday, the 18th of May, this upcoming Sunday, you go play Newcastle at St. James's Park. I don't think, because Mikel Arteta never wins a game there, I don't think we're going to win that game. They're too strong for us. They always come, they always come out and they beat Arsenal. Let's just, put it this way. Mentally, physically, they're stronger, I think. So we'll see, hopefully. Because it's very tricky when you look at, the Premier League table. However, we'll go back to that. Let's just continue talking about the players. So again, Mourinho average. And let's talk about Martin Odegaard. Yeah, a lot of talk about Martin Odegaard, his down, his this, his that. Let's just go back a little bit. Yes, people are comparing this season with last season with Martin Odegaard, and they're saying that he was better last year. Okay. Why was he better? Because Bukayo Saka and Benny White were always fit. They always played with him. So now he found his feet. He found his feet. He found their feet. they were give and go, him and Saka, so they were used to each other. So now Saka was injured for a while this year, and for more than a while, Benny White was injured also. So now he had to get used to whomever plays on that side, whether it's Ethan Nwaneri, Trossard, Martinelli, and of course he has to get used to Julian Timber's style of play. So I wouldn't blame Odegaard. I think he still is the number one runner for Arsenal. I mean, he runs a lot. He closes down a lot. He motivates his team a lot. But I'm not sure he gets the backup from Mikel Arteta. I don't think he gets the backup from Mikel Arteta. I don't think, Odegaard is happy. I just don't think so. If he was happy, he would have been a better producer. He talked about his childhood, and he talked a lot about how much pressure they used to put on him. But that tells you that he just doesn't operate as well when pressure is so much on him. He's an emotional player, and I love players like that. He's a playmaker. But unfortunately, if he's down, creativity for Arsenal goes out of the window because nobody else does that. And please don't tell me Jorginho does any of that, because I'm really, really thankful that Jorginho is leaving, because he just, another failure that Arteta brought from Chelsea. I mean, we're used to now. I don't know who else he's going to bring. I mean, he brought, David Luiz, failed. He brought Jorginho, failed. He brought Raheem Sterling, failed. So I'm not sure how many chances are we going to give him, but it is what it is. Situation we're facing as fans, that he is the manager. I mean, I saw comments from a lot of people saying, yeah, we're stuck with him for some reason, but it is what it is. So we're going to move forward. We're going to talk about the three up front that started today. But before we go there, as I said, Thomas Partey, Odegaard, and Mikel Merino, because of the absence of Declan Rice. That's your midfield. Now let's go up front. We saw Martinelli on one side. We saw Bukayo Saka on his favorite right side. And then we saw Trossard through the middle. And in some occasions, we'll see Trossard and Martinelli flip. So Trossard goes to the flank or the wing, and then Martinelli will play through the middle. Martinelli scored with a beautiful ball from the left side, his side, that Trossard crossed to him, and he scored a beautiful goal for the Gunners today. Martinelli was our first goal we scored. But before we go and talk about the goals, I also want to talk about the substitutes who came in. Trossard went out. That's 78th minute. Him and Benny White, they both gone out. And Kieran Tierney, I was really happy to see him. And Calafiori replaced Ben White on that side. So is the starting lineup okay? Was that the best we can do? I talked yesterday or the day before about when Mikel Arteta chooses who to put where. I would definitely put William Saliba and Ben White right next to each other's. Absolutely. And then I'll put, Calafiori on the right, or Kieran Tierney on the right, or Luis Skelly on the right, and I'll put one of those three names on the left. So I know three of them are left-footed players, but Calafiori can play as a right back, and here, you changed him and Ben White, and you brought him. So why didn't we start Calafiori on the right, Ben White, William Saliba, and then Luis Skelly? I don't know. But I am pretty sure it would have been better that Ben White plays as a third back. They don't say that anymore. It's old school. When I played, it was a third back, but I didn't know why he wasn't one of the two center backs with Saliba. That's just my opinion. Fast forward 88th minute, the last and the final substitution was for Zinchenko, and he came in for Bukayo Saka. I don't really believe in Zinchenko at all since he came to the club. He scored one time. Yeah, he made a good play one time, but his mistakes, you go back and track this guy's mistakes. It cost us so many games, especially in front of Liverpool, especially in front of the top four, when Mo Salah, took him to the cleaner how many times. So I'm not really sold about, Zinchenko. I think he's also deadwood. He's got to go. Him or, of course, our absent Gabby Jesus that never plays. Some people are like, Gabby who? Yeah, Gabby Jesus is still an Arsenal player, by the way, but unfortunately, every time he's on the field, he gets hurt. And he was really, really bad last year. So I'm not sure what are we waiting on for a striker. I'm not sure if even Arteta wants to play a striker. They want to play that false number 9 all the time. I don't buy it because a lot of that, if you saw the game earlier today, you saw the Liverpool goalkeeper, Alisson, spilled the ball so many times, but there wasn't a number 9 to pick that ball up, right? So hopefully we can get an attacker that we recognize, by the way, not just someone as an attacker, to come and fill the shoes of a number 9 for us up front, because we need the goals. And that was your substitutes or substitutions and the starting lineup. So let me talk about the game for just a little bit. It was a weird game, because we started sort of hallucinating, for lack of better words. We didn't have energy. What I saw, and let me tell you this, I mentioned what Arne Slot, what good coaches always say, right? He said that himself. He said, I do not bring, drills and tactical this and technical that to training ground. I only bring energy. Because that's the most important thing for a coach, is to bring the right energy for the team. And of course, we know who we're talking about. I don't know how Mikel Arteta, if I'm a player, can motivate me or give me more energy. I just don't see it. So we saw the players coming in today. They were a bit down. And again, can't blame them. They were just lost to PSG. Before that, they lost to Bournemouth. And it was embarrassing losing to Bournemouth. And now we're in a dilemma. Are we going to make, the runner-up again? Are we going to be second? Are we going to be third? Are we going to be fourth? Why do I say that? Let's go real quick and see the Premier League table. Liverpool sits up front. Of course, they're winners. 83 points. 68 for Arsenal. Everyone now played 36 games, by the way, so it's 2 more. Arsenal has 2 games. Sunday the 18th and Sunday the 25th. We play Newcastle, St. James's Park, away. And then we go to Southampton. And you know, Southampton, we never beat them. So I'm not sure that we're going to beat Southampton. And I'm not sure we're going to beat Newcastle United. So now look, 83 for Liverpool. They're done. They're gone. They go to Champions League. They win. Congratulations. Bye. Now second is Arsenal with 68. Played 36 games. Newcastle sitting right there at third with 66 points. They win the upcoming game. They go 69 points and we stay at 68. So there you have it. They could be second. Not only that, if we have 68, Manchester City, if we lose next game and Manchester City wins their next game, which they probably will, they will be 68 too. So now we'll be tight with City. However, we have more goals or goal differentials go to us. We have 33 goal differentials, and City has 24. So I think we will be up top, but it still has to wait till the last day. So I'm not sure what happens. Again, I don't trust us winning these upcoming 2 games. If you lost today, that would have been 4 losses in a row. That never happened since 7 years ago, by the way. Chelsea is sitting 5th. So if Chelsea wins the next game, gets to 66 now, 3 points. If they're 66 and they have another one, if they win both games, they'll be 69. And if we don't win any or draw any of the next games, we'll be 68. Yeah? So if Arsenal don't win the 2 games, we'll go all the way down to 6th. Yep. Aston Villa has 2 games. Chelsea has 2 games. If they get all points, that's 69 each. 65 for City, right? 3 and 3. That's 6 points. They'll be what? 71. They'll be second. And it will be 68. I don't know. I really don't know. I have all the faith in our players. I have all the faith in this badge. But I don't have any faith in our coach. Unfortunately, he took that away. He took his credibility away. Matter of fact, I really don't want to see him on TV even, because they put that camera on him. He really pisses me off when they just concentrate on the coach and then leave the game. I want to see the game. I don't want to see the coach. And always, when I see coaches on the sideline, I can feel that, energy. And I don't know why, for some reason, Mikel Arteta does not give me the right energy. It's not just me. There's a lot of people that I talk to. Of course, there's few, like I said, that are Arteta fans. And those are Arteta fans. You don't see anything other than him. So you know what? Listen, take a picture of him, put it in your bedroom, look at him every day. But hopefully we don't see him next year on the sideline for us. And that's the only wish I have. And to me, that would have been replacing a trophy. Believe it or not, I'll be as happy if he leaves as us winning a trophy. That's how much. Anyways, that's where the Premier League table is at. And that's my worries. I just wanted to come out here today and discuss that with you. The game finished 2-2. Of course, as we all know, they started by scoring 2 goals. It could have been 4 and 5, like the commentators were saying. It could have been 4, 5, or 6. It could have been embarrassing. But thank God we held on till we come into the second half, and we were able to score a couple of goals in that half. First, we saw, of course, the Martinelli goal. Trossard assisted, just what I was talking about earlier. A nice header from Martinelli, just guided it, and Alisson didn't see it. And then the last one, Mikel Merino reacted so fast from that wonderful kick from our captain, Martin Odegaard. Great shot. Alisson put a hand to it, hit the post, comes back. Mikel Merino was able to stay onside and then jump on that ball and get us the second and save us from the embarrassment. Actually saves Arteta from the embarrassment. I wouldn't care about this result. Again, I didn't want to beat up on the players. You know, they're already tired and beat up on, and it was a long season for them. And once again, we go trophyless. So to them, all the efforts they put went to waste, unfortunately, because it was just a couple of 3 games. And again, that's not the first time. Now we see Arsenal for the past 4 years, maybe, doing the same exact thing towards the end, where we taper down and we don't play as well. We don't have the energy. We ran out of enthusiasm. We ran out of positivity. You saw their faces today, so I'm not going to talk about that anymore. But I do feel bad for our players, and I support each and every one of them. I stand behind them, especially the starting 11 today. They're all great. They tried their best, but you can see how much down they were. When you're down, I don't think you can ever pick yourself up and give 100%, because it's just, you kind of put that negativity in front of your face, and that takes away from your performance. Anyways, we will see. Next, like I said, is Newcastle United away. Hopefully we put on the right 11 to start with, number one, and we get the right chemistry. I really, really, really would love to see Ethan Nwaneri play. Please let him play. The kid is better than a lot of people you play. And this year, he proved that. He scores. He's always there. He just needs to defend a little bit more. And that's something I put on the coach, because as a coach, you're responsible to how your team defend. You're not as much responsible how your team create, right? Creativity comes from the players. But defense, I think as a coach, I can really tell my defenders how to defend. So hopefully he chooses the right mix, and hopefully we go to St. James's Park and not get embarrassed, because today we were on the brink of getting embarrassed. But thank God, I'm happy for the players that we were able to bounce back and get a 2-2 draw in Anfield, which is, of course, a very, very tough place to go to. Well, another season, Yagunners, without trophies. It is what it is. Unfortunately, I predicted that 3 years ago, and I said it last year, and I said it this year, because I could see the pattern. I can, it's like a movie, right? When you watch a lot of movies and you watch a lot of these stories, when they come about again, you pretty much can tell what the end is like, right? And that's what it is. We read it earlier, and a lot of people I spoke to had the same opinion. We're not winning anything, so don't get your hopes up. So I didn't, and thank God I didn't, so I don't have a heart attack, right? Thank you very, very much for watching. Please don't forget to hit that like button and share if you love the episode. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Thank you so much, Arsenal Fan TV, from here from the Northwest, Pacific Northwest. Have a great week, and I'll see you after the Newcastle game. Bye now.